Hey guys, welcome back to AfriTech. Damien here, and as usual behind the camera, Matt. We're coming to you with probably one of the most fun videos we will film. It's AR-15 rifle versus a PCC. Which one should you have and should you own? So to get right into it, this is the AR we've been given. It's pretty much kitted out to all you can do to an AR. Where do I start? Every control is ambidextrous. The trigger is a aftermarket trigger, grip aftermarket, the slide, it's not a pistol, James. The bolt charging handle ambidextrous. There's a 4-end grip on here, mag pull, shroud. So it's really just been properly kitted out. Probably one of the coolest rifles, and it's not for sale, but if you did have the opportunity to buy it, probably one of the best rifles currently running in the country. So to get it to that state, ambidextrous, 45-degree safety and fire, and levers, to get it there, there's a pretty penny put into it, put into the rifle to get it there. And we're gonna put some rounds through it now soon, just to test what this rifle can actually do. So the first drawback on a rifle like this, I would say, is just the length of the barrel. So if you want something that's maneuverable in a vehicle, around a vehicle, in your house, in a doorway, something that's this long might just stop you and hinder you a little bit. Nothing wrong with using it, it's just you might have to pull that rifle in, get around the door and push it out again. So that's the first thing that I would consider when looking at something like this. Alright guys, cool. So this is what we're comparing the AR-15 to today. It's the Striborg from Grand Power. So firstly, I just want to say thanks to Jean from, where did I say you from? I'd like to say thanks to Jean at grandpower.co.za for letting us review this rifle compared to the AR-15. So this is chambered in 9mm. This is the Striborg SP9A2. Alright, so very similar to the AR but completely different in its own way. It's already ambidextrous. You buy it ambidextrous, so you don't need to drop the extra cash into it to make it an ambidextrous rifle. It's got slide releases on both sides. It's got a safety on both sides. It has an AR-15 style trigger, not a drop-in trigger, but you can upgrade that trigger if you want to. They've just slapped a red dot on here for ease of use today. It comes with iron sights that flip up. The iron sights themselves, when they're down, they are actually still small sights that you can use just above the Picatinny rail. It has a charging handle, so an ambidextrous charging handle. Best way to show you is probably that way. You can change which side that charging handle goes. It also is non-reciprocating, so if the bolt locks back, you can move that charging handle as you go along, which is very cool and really helps for grip on the rifle. Another nice thing about this Striborg is the collapsing stock and how small it gets. All right, that is the size of a plate carrier basically. We've put it in a bag. We'll probably put it in a bag for this review as well, but it really does get nice and small. It's also got a thread protector. It already comes with a threaded barrel with a thread protector on the front. So the thread is 1/2 inch by 28, and I learned today what that means is for every 1/2 inch the length, there's 28 sort of screw inclines.
Sometimes my genius is, it's almost frightening.
With that comes into it. So it's already threaded. You can put your suppressor on there, your muzzle brake, those sorts of things. There is another version of this that you can get from striborg.co.za. It comes a little bit with more of a 4-end, comes with the muzzle brake, but today we're really going to have some fun with this. So stay tuned and let's get into it. I want to demonstrate the difference in the barrel length on what you need to do when moving in and around cover. I'm going to use the tires here as an example. There's a target towards the end of the range. I'm going to start on the right hand side of the tires and then change onto the left hand side and show you exactly how the barrel influences moving amongst barriers. Cool. All right, from the drill, I think you'll see that if you punch past your barrier or even on top of your barrier or next to it, to come back, you have to, or to go to the left hand side or the right hand side to move, you need to pull the gun back. On the longer barreled rifles, even the change is a bit technical. Push out again past the barrier. So coming across is quite tricky. You always need to step back with the longer barrel, unless if you want to stay close, you can turn like this. But if you turn like this, you've got a foot that you need to make sure that you don't put a bullet through. So also quite scary, because you need to bring it down and then you can do your change however you want to change, like that, to come over and then go to the next one. So yeah, that's something to consider when looking at something with a long barrel or a short barrel, especially for sport shooting. You're going to need to go around, under, over barriers, so something to consider. Alright, so I want to show you now using the PCC what the difference looks like from left to right on the barrel. We showed you on the AR, and I'll quickly show you on the PCC. So from here, it's a quick change. You can just sweep over from one side to the next. So it's quite nice that you get that sort of clearance from your barrier. I think something that's also quite cool that we just showed, so if I draw my pistol, I put my pistol against the tires, I keep that stance and that spacing, and the PCC still has much more space in front of it to get past the barrier on either side. Alright, so what we're going to do here now is we're going to do some moving and shooting around a broken car and some barriers, just again give you a bit more of an idea of how much more you need to move with the AR versus the PCC. So we're going to start with the PCC and then we're going to go into the AR. Nice, really enjoyed that. Nice and small. You can really get in and around the vehicles and the barriers. A little bit of a malfunction, but just because I didn't have the stock in my shoulder. Let's try it with the AR. Cool. All right, so I'm going to move in and around the barriers in the car with the 16-inch barrel now. Just take note of how I have to move the barrel a little bit more than what I had to move the PCC. Cool. Cool. A lot more fun to shoot, a lot louder to shoot. My ears are still ringing even with some earplugs in. I really enjoyed the 223. I do feel like I have more gun to hold on to, but you can definitely feel how long that gun is. I think also on that first barrier I got a little bit fumbled on my changeovers and my crossovers, so if you have any tips for me, put them down in the comments on how to train that. Alright, so we've shot both the guns. We've done the PCC and the AR. Both obviously are really fun to shoot. For enjoyment, I really enjoyed the 223. Just the cost of shooting for me would deter me from trying to get a 223 before a PCC right now. I personally would go for something like a Striborg. I know there is options in the AR platform that come in a 9mm, but the Striborg was a lot of fun to shoot. I liked how close it was. I liked how small it was in and around barriers, especially also wearing a plate carrier. Also adds some advancing talent to that. The AR, it really has its place. It can really reach out and touch some objects quite hard at 200-300 meters, so that's also something to think about. I think when it comes to the AR as well, it just depends on how much you want to shoot and how much you're willing to spend. Both standard options, so the AR that we shot today wasn't so standard, but the standard option and the AR platform are quite close to each other in price range. It just depends what other add-ons you want to put on. Red dots, making the AR ambidextrous. This is already ambidextrous. And then what you will shoot for 100 rounds in the AR platform, you'll shoot quite a bit more in the 9mm platform. This is also really cool for kids, I think. It's not so intimidating, it's not so loud, not so scary. But with that being said, some kids like loud, scary, and intimidating. So then the AR with a huge muzzle brake like that works. Ultimately, my preference is my preference, but you guys need to go out and decide. Train hard and stay safe. Thanks, guys.